6. Someone from your past is trying to return, not for closure, but because they realized you were the blessing they lost. Archangel Michael says, there is someone who once walked away from you thinking they were doing the right thing. They believed they were moving towards something better, something easier, something that would fill them. But all they found was a void shaped like you. At first, they didn't notice the absence. They were too distracted by illusions and temporary comfort. But slowly, your energy began to haunt them in silence. They started waking up with your name in their thoughts. They saw your face in strangers. Heard your voice in quiet spaces. And it began to ache in places they didn't know could feel. Now they're trying to return, not to give closure, but because they know they lost the blessing they were never meant to let go of. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They once called your love too much, but now they call it irreplaceable. They dismissed your care, your presence, your loyalty, until it was no longer theirs to keep. And now they miss it with a heaviness that doesn't lift. They speak your name to no one. Just whispers in empty rooms. Hoping the universe might give them a second chance to touch what they threw away. Your peace is what they crave now. The same peace they used to disrupt. The same warmth they once took for granted. Now their heart is unsettled. And the only remedy they believe in, is you. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. They've replayed every memory like a movie. Trying to find the moment when they lost you for good. Trying to understand why they couldn't see your worth while they had access. But they know now. And that knowing is tormenting them. They thought time would make them forget. But time only made your value clearer. They tried to find you in others, but no one could match what you gave effortlessly. Now they're not returning with apology. They're returning with realization. And that's a different kind of desperation. Type Amen to get blessing 7272. They won't say the words perfectly. Their pride might still dress their regret in vague sentences. But you'll feel the heaviness in their voice. Because their return isn't about saying sorry, it's about seeking the presence that made them feel whole. And they lost that the moment they walked away. They realize now that what they called space was really the beginning of a life without light. And the further they got from you, the colder their days became. They miss your energy. Not because it was loud, but because it was real. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. They tried to distract themselves with people, places, noise. But nothing filled the absence of your silence. They tried to laugh again, but the joy didn't reach their soul. They watched your glow from a distance, hoping you might turn back. But you kept rising. You kept healing. You kept moving. And that's what broke them most. You were supposed to fall without them. But instead, you became untouchable. Now they carry the truth like a weight. And it grows heavier with every moment you remain unreachable. Type Amen to get blessing 4444. They are hoping for a crack in your door. A soft place to land. But your spirit has changed. You no longer live in the spaces that tolerated pain. You've stepped into the realm of peace. And not everyone can follow you there. They now understand that what they left behind wasn't just a person, it was protection. It was love. It was home. And you don't rebuild a home by knocking on old doors with broken hands. Type Amen to get blessing 5050. They thought time would heal what they destroyed. But time only reminded them. Now their mind is filled with echoes of what once was. Their return isn't bold. It's cautious. Because they know they are approaching a stronger version of you. You've shed the layers of pain they left behind. You've built armor out of every tear. And your spirit now recognizes who belongs, and who only returns when it's convenient. They feel unworthy now. And deep down, they know they are. Type Amen to get blessing 3131. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. They may try to speak of memories, hoping nostalgia will soften your heart. But your soul doesn't live in the past anymore. It's rooted in the present and reaching for purpose. Archangel Michael says, they will try to enter softly, not to disturb the peace, but to taste it again. But peace is not a tasting room, it's sacred ground. And you've learned how to guard it now. Your silence taught you boundaries. Your distance taught you discernment. Let them feel what it means to lose access to what they once overlooked. Type Amen to get blessing 8181. They are being humbled by life in ways they never expected. The same confidence they had when they walked away has crumbled. And now, all they have left is the echo of your name in their soul. They check your updates in silence, hoping for a sign that you miss them too. But what they find is strength, growth, peace. And that hurts more than anything. Because you no longer need them to feel whole. You've created light in places they left dark. And that light is blinding them now. They are not returning to fix what was broken. They're returning because they see now, you were the healer, not the problem. Type Amen to get blessing 2929. They didn't recognize your value because they were blinded by their own unhealed wounds. But now those wounds are bleeding, and your name is stitched through every attempt to numb the pain. They feel the love they once ignored, and it cuts deeper now because they can't reach it anymore. They want to speak, but words will fall short. You are the blessing disguised as an ordinary moment. The rare one. The sacred one. The one they'll never find again. And they know it. That's why their return is slow, unsure, and full of regret. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. They will try to speak in half-truths. But your spirit has become fluent in energy. And energy never lies. What they don't realize is that your absence taught you more than their presence ever did. And that's why your spirit doesn't shake at their return. The connection may remain in memory, but your reality no longer requires it. You have become the very thing they could not handle, whole without them. They are not chasing closure. They are chasing the version of themselves they only knew through your love. Type Amen to get blessing 8484. Archangel Michael says, this return was seen in spirit before it showed up in reality. You felt the pull. You sensed the shift. Because your soul is too wise not to notice. You will be given the strength to face it, not with bitterness, but with clarity. Not with anger, but with truth. You no longer seek to understand their why. You've already outgrown their story. This chapter is not about reconnection. It's about realization, for them, and for you. Type Amen to get blessing 3737. They are now learning what presence means. What loyalty means. What loss feels like when it's permanent. They gave away a rare soul thinking it would wait. But you didn't wait, you healed. You rose. Your name is now spoken differently in their spirit. With reverence. With sorrow. With understanding. But understanding came too late. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. They walk through crowds but feel disconnected. Because even with new people around them, no one sees them like you did. You saw their light beneath their shadow. You held space for their healing while they rejected yours. Now that space is gone. And they're trying to rebuild what they once ran from. But your love isn't something that gets recycled. It's sacred. It's once in a lifetime. Let them feel that truth. Type Amen to get blessing 7575. They feel the loss most at night. When the world is quiet and their distractions no longer work. That's when your memory speaks loudest. They try to convince themselves that reaching out will make it better. But they also know that you're no longer where they left you. You've elevated. Their heart aches to be seen again by the one person who truly knew them. But your eyes now look toward higher things. Things that cannot be found in old pain. They thought they were the strong one for walking away. But true strength was what you did, you stayed soft while healing hard. Type Amen to get blessing 6060. Now they want to feel what they once ignored. They want the peace you carry. The kindness you radiate. The warmth that once wrapped around them like home. But that home was closed when they broke its foundation. And your spirit has since built something stronger without them. You are not the same soul they once knew. You're wiser now. Sharper. Elevated beyond what they ever took the time to understand. Their regret isn't just about losing you. It's about realizing you were never coming back. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. They may send a message. They may try to check in. They might test the waters with kindness laced in nostalgia. But you will feel the energy behind the words. You'll hear their regret hidden in their silence. And you'll know, this is not about love. This is about loss. They lost someone sacred. And now they return, not to rebuild, but to remember. You don't need to hate them. Let grace cover the wound. But don't forget how it felt when they let you go. Type Amen to get blessing 5252. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, your spirit is now your sanctuary. And not every returning voice deserves entry. What you've built in your healing is holy. You are the blessing they couldn't hold. The answered prayer they misread. The light they tried to dim but couldn't. Let this be your peace, you were always the rare one. The soul they never deserved. The love they couldn't keep. Their return confirms your value, not their change. Type Amen to get blessing 4545. You walk forward now without fear. Without bitterness. Without looking back. Because your future doesn't exist in recycled pain. It lives in new light. And you've earned every step of it. Let them watch you rise. Let them remember your love. Let them feel the gravity of your absence. You've become the prayer they didn't know they needed. And now it's no longer theirs to hold. Type Amen to get blessing 9990. They still remember the way you smiled through your pain. The way you gave even when you were empty. And that memory is heavier than any silence you've given them now. You were the one who stayed soft in a world that was hard on you. The one who offered loyalty when others played with your love. They finally see the purity they once treated carelessly. Now they are drowning in what-ifs. What if they had chosen you? What if they had healed instead of hurting you? What if they had stayed? But what-ifs don't open closed doors. And you've locked that chapter with grace, not revenge. Type Amen to get blessing 7171. They're praying for a miracle now, not because they deserve another chance, but because they're afraid no one else will see them like you did. That fear is real. That emptiness is deep. You were their mirror, the one who showed them their worth when they didn't believe in it themselves. And now, all they have left is the reflection of a love they'll never feel again. They tried to replace you with distraction. But nothing fits. Nothing heals. Nothing compares. Because your love came from your soul, not from your wounds. And they can't recreate that with anyone else. Type Amen to get blessing 8888. They thought time would give them freedom. But time only reminded them of your absence. And now, they're trapped in a cycle of memory and regret. You've moved on in silence, but your energy still speaks louder than their apologies ever could. You've built something beautiful from the pieces they shattered. And they're watching from the sidelines as you become everything they didn't appreciate. That is their true punishment, not your anger, but your evolution. Let your peace be your answer. Let your glow be your boundary. Type Amen to get blessing 3636. Archangel Michael says, the pain they caused you has now become their lesson. The silence they gave you has become their echo. And the love they rejected has become their deepest longing. They thought they were doing you a favor by leaving. But now, they'd give anything just to hear your voice again. They miss the little things, the way you noticed their moods, remembered the smallest details, offered love without keeping score. No one does that for them anymore. Now they see, you weren't just different, you were divine. Type Amen to get blessing 2929. They wake up hoping to forget, but instead, they remember more. They try to smile through the ache, but it shows in their eyes. They carry your name like an unanswered prayer. Everything they once took for granted is now gold in their memories. Your laughter, your protection, your ability to love without limits, it follows them everywhere now. You were once their peace. And they destroyed it without thinking. Now they wander in chaos, chasing shadows of what they lost. This isn't karma, it's clarity. And clarity doesn't give relief. It gives truth. Type Amen to get blessing 4747. They hear your voice in music. See your soul in dreams. Feel your presence when the world gets quiet. No matter where they go, they cannot run from what they did. The world can't distract them anymore. The weight of your absence is louder than any crowd. You've become their biggest revelation. Not because you changed, but because you healed. You walked away with grace, and that's what haunts them most. They see now that the blessing was not in the beginning, but in the way you stayed loyal through it all. Type Amen to get blessing 5151. Now they're praying for a door to reopen. But that door no longer leads to who you were. You've stepped into purpose. You've crossed over into divine alignment. You no longer crave what once broke you. You no longer lower your light to meet them in the shadows. You've become whole on the other side of their departure. They are coming back for peace. But peace is not something you hand out anymore. It's something you protect. Let them feel the cost of losing something pure. Let them walk through the emptiness they created. Type Amen to get blessing 9090. You gave them every chance to choose you. Every moment to step forward with truth. But they delayed, denied, and distanced themselves. And now they're facing a version of you that doesn't beg, wait, or explain. You are free. And freedom is the one thing they can't control. They miss your softness. But your strength is what they never saw coming. Type Amen to get blessing 626 that if you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. They never expected you to outgrow the pain. They never thought you'd become stronger because of them. But now they see it, and it terrifies them. Because you are no longer someone they can guilt, manipulate, or confuse. Your vision is clearer. Your heart is guarded. Your soul is stable. And the version of you they return to is no longer available in the way they remember. That chapter is closed. That door has sealed itself in light. They are speaking to memories now, not to you. And memories cannot reply. Type Amen to get blessing 3434. They're living inside the silence they once gave you. Every unanswered call. Every dismissed emotion. It's all being returned now. They once had a place in your heart, but your spirit has removed their access. Not out of spite, but out of protection. Out of growth. You are sacred ground now. Not everyone is allowed to step there. Especially not those who broke it once. Let them remember you as their turning point. Because that's what you've become. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. They thought love was a game. But you were never playing. You were praying. And now those prayers have lifted you to a place where they can no longer follow. That elevation cost you tears, but it also birthed your rebirth. They are stuck in cycles you already broke. Still chasing comfort in chaos. Still searching for what you became. You are no longer available to people who only recognize your worth when it's too late. Type Amen to get blessing 6767. Archangel Michael says, there is power in your silence now. It speaks louder than any conversation. It commands more respect than any apology. They feel it in their chest, the pull, the ache, the loss. But it is not yours to fix. You were the lesson. The blessing. The healer. And now your healing is your boundary. Let them learn from the pain they caused. It's not your job to carry it anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 8881. They once thought they could come and go from your life like it was an open door. But now they're learning that divine doors don't stay open forever. Some close without sound, and when they do, it's permanent. They want back in, but not for the right reasons. They miss your warmth, your loyalty, your energy. But what they really miss is how you made them feel about themselves. That's not love, that's dependence. And you've already broken the chains that kept you repeating cycles. You've grown beyond being their emotional rescue. Now they must sit with the silence they created. And feel the emptiness they once handed to you. Type Amen to get blessing 99.99. You don't owe them another conversation. You don't owe them access to the new you. The you who found peace without needing closure. They watched you bend before, and now they're watching you stand. Unshaken. Unreachable. And it's humbling them. What they thought was weakness was always your power. What they tried to overlook is now all they can see. Your glow makes their shadows obvious. They lost a gift they didn't know how to receive. And now their spirit is restless. Type Amen to get blessing 4545. They feel it when your name is mentioned. A sting. A crack. A moment of stillness in their chest. Because your name carries weight now. It's no longer just part of their past, it's a part of their lesson. You are no longer here to comfort their regrets. You are walking in purpose. And purpose doesn't wait for apologies. Let them look back. That's all they have now. You, on the other hand, have a future that glows. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. Archangel Michael says, there is no need to go back. What left you was never meant to stay in your new season. You are rising without resistance now. Don't second-guess what you already survived. Don't reopen doors to feed their healing while starving your own. You were the blessing they couldn't see. Now your absence is their mirror. Their pain. Their wake-up call. Walk with grace, but walk away fully. Type Amen to get blessing 3030. That if you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20.